everybody! It's time to talk Windwalker. You've been asking for it because it was one of the specs that I gave so much praise to the ends of Mr. Pandaria. I was like, this spec is gorgeous. This is a fucking wonder. It's the future of where we need to be going. And all the feedback we've been getting from beta is bad. I'm re-rolling. Enhancement shaver forever, right? Fuck the Windwalker. You ruined it. You spoiled it. So, how are we going to approach this one? Because there are obviously concerns to be addressed. I think, first of all, we'll look at the changes a little bit, and then I'll give you my personal opinion on what I think is happening with the Windwalker and why it's happening. I think that is definitely the way to go. So, what was Blizzard's intention with the changes? One is to slow it down. We wanted to slow this motherfucker down. Why? Why? It was such a fast-paced spec, Blizz. We enjoyed the fast pace. One of the main reasons is to be more punishing to people who were playing it like a spammy goofball. It was spammy, made mistakes, and oh, it's okay. The spec is so fast, and I'm resource capped a lot of the time that I can actually cover my mistakes pretty damn quickly, and it's no big deal. Blizzard doesn't like that. They really don't like that with any of the specs. If you mess up, you should be punished in some way. That's what they want to do. As hard as it is to believe in this world of the game's so easy now, everybody's being dumbed down, it's not actually the case. Blizzard wants to make the specs viable. They want to make the specs make sense. And if you screw it up or you do something stupid like not use dots on an Affliction Warlock, then you're going to pay for it in some manner. So with the amount of resources that we were getting in Mr. Pandaria with decent amounts of gear, it was actually a little bit less punishing. The high-end players, got to point this out for you guys, the high-end players, not so much. They use the fast-paced playstyle to, in fact, do wonderful, tremendous things, setting up massive amounts of burst and cleave and AoE and doing all sorts of crazy stuff. For you guys, these changes aren't really going to be nice for you. I've got to say it, for a really high-end Windwalker, you're not going to be too pleased, I don't think, because a lot of things that they're refocusing on in Warlords of Draenor are things you were probably doing passively anyway, okay? Those are things that you've been doing since day one. If you've been following the channel, you were like, okay, I'm going to follow a preacher guide. They're the best on the internet. And then I'm going to do what he says in there, which is like keep certain things on cooldown all the time. And you've been doing that since patch 5.1 or 5.0, whenever you picked it up. Then you're going to be like, well, I've been doing this anyway, preacher, so what the fuck is the big deal for me? So yeah, maybe you guys are going to be upset. I actually think most of the outcry regarding the change to Windwalker comes from the people who picked it up sort of mid-expansion when you could get really good gear very, very quickly and you didn't have to sort of develop your haste and stuff with your Windwalker and just fell into what could easily be described as kind of a spammy rotation where they were making probably tons of mistakes but easily able to cover them. Now you're going to be punished a little bit more. So what were the changes? Mainly that Jab, our combo chi generator, is now 50 energy. 50 energy! Dude! Whoa! It's expensive as fuck! Holy shit! And when you pick this up, when you first play Warlords of Draenor, and if you're playing a Windwalker right now, you're going to go, whoa! Whoa, whoa, that's a big chunk of change. That is a lot of moolah to generate a couple of combo points, baby. That is fucking way expensive, and it is. It really is. That's where the big slowdown has come from, is like you generate way less chi. Way, way less chi. Even your Energizing Brew. At some points, I was just spamming Energizing Brew because I just needed more combo points because I was used to the Mr. Pandaria playstyle. I was like, this feels ugly and horrible, and most people will feel like that. But Energizing Brew is only 60 energy. Over 6 seconds, you're buying a jab, where previously you were buying like a jab and a half, right? You're getting some extra value for your money, and now you're not. Okay, so it's going to give you an extra jab and a fifth of a jab on top of that with a 1 minute cooldown. So yeah, that's where the slowdown has come from. Why? What are we doing now then? There's a huge refocus onto your Rising Sun kick and your mainly Fists of Fury. Fists of Fury hits so fucking hard now. Oh my god. It hits like a fucking truck. Which means that if you don't have the 3 chi ready, and you're not ready to fucking pop that son of a bitch the second it comes off cooldown, you're going to be punished for it over the course of a fight. Big time. Big time punish. You're getting spanked. You're getting absolutely spanked into the ground for not doing that. And that's where they're going with it. They want you to be using those things on the money. Really on the money with them. You can't be spammy with them. Where previously it was like, oh shit, my Fist of Fury is off cooldown. Spam jab, spam jab, spam jab. Okay, now I can fire it off. Cool. They really want you to be getting into this window of the Rising Sun kick. There's far more emphasis on it where there was an emphasis on it previously. This is what I'm saying. Some of you guys will be like, I've already been doing that forever. You're going to be fine. You're going to be fine because you're used to it. You're going to have to adjust to the fact that you have less chi, which means you are way less spammy with your blackout kick. That's what's gone away. We use less jabs, we use less blackout kicks, because if you do just spam away your chi, you're not going to be able to line these up really perfectly anymore, because you're not like, oh, it's a second delay, I've got my jab coming back. That's going to add up very, very quickly over the course of a fight and really balls you up big time. Big time. So that's the refocus, and that's why people are a bit mad. It does introduce some downtime, but we're no longer resource capped, which is what they wanted. Being resource capped is no good. Don't like you having infinite sources of chi and infinite chi to spend away, because you're not making decisions properly. Is the thinking that Blizzard's going with. I see where they're coming from with that. Okay? I think most of us can understand, even from a common sense point of view, is that you just have resources, then it's no big deal to spend them. Right? If you have $8 billion, I don't care about spending £500,000 on a packet of Doritos, right? Even if they are tangy cheese. It's just the way it goes. Let's talk about these level 100 talents, shall we? Right now, there's a couple of bummers, alright? These are the bummers I want to give back. One, if you don't check Chi Explosion right now, you're just a massive noob cake. You're just a fucking big giant slug. There's no reason not to, because it's just so freaking good. And that sucks, in my opinion, because why? My playstyle personally favors Serenity. So what are these things? Chi Explosion! This is the one that most people are excited about. I think when you try it, you're just going to be like, yeah, okay, I get it. It replaces your Blackout Kick. You can use up to 4 Chi. It does its most damage. Some people are confused by this because... let me tell you. 1 chi, it'll do like a Blackout Kick. 2 chi deals the Blackout Kick dot. 3 chi gives you another charge of Tiger Eye Brew. That's the money. That's the money shot right there, is the 3. And 4, it also does AoE. The damage also hits all enemies within 8 yards of the target. And let me tell you, when you're AoEing with Chi Explosion, it's so much fucking damage, guys. Oh my god, it's crazy. It's really, really nuts. Chi Explosion, which causes your next Chi Explosion to refund 2 Chi when you get the combo breaker. Remember, you used to get a free Blackout Kick. You'll actually just get 2 Chi back, which is nice. A nice way of solving it. Some people are really confused because the 4th Chi Spender actually says it does AoE. It still does more damage. Some people are like, do I need to get 3 chi before I use this on a single target? Because the 4th chi is AoE. I don't need the AoE, so am I wasting resources? You're not. Chi Explosion still does more damage at 4. It's fine. You don't need to worry about it. It's not something else you have to manage on top of your other debuffs. You don't have to start really managing your combo points. If you have 4 chi, Chi Explosion away. Happy, happy days. You're still obviously going to be using less of them, because you're going to be building up to them now, yeah? Where previously we were using, like, Blackout Kick, Blackout Kick, Blackout Kick. Now you're going to be like, okay, I have the Chi, but I also need to do my Rising Sun Kick in a moment. I also need to do Fist of Fury soon, and that's really important, so I'm going to delay it. And you're going to, although Chi Explosion hits really hard, you still need to prioritize the other things. Because remember, Fist of Fury also buys us the downtime to work up that energy again. So there's kind of less downtime by making sure you're using this. Once you get into the rhythm, or a cycle, as many people are calling it. Once you get into your cycle, it's actually quite nice, because your Fist of Fury buys you that time to regenerate the energy to get more chi, which kind of eliminates a little bit of the downtime if you're doing it correctly, which is quite nice. Now, as I was saying earlier, Chi Explosion I actually find really boring. But because it gives all this Tiger Eye Brew and it does all this damage and all this kind of shit, it's actually like the only thing people can choose right now. Serenity is much better for me, my personal playstyle, but at the moment it doesn't seem to be doing anywhere near enough. Serenity is your other level 100 talent. You enter an elevated state of mental and physical serenity. For 10 seconds. While in this state, all chi consumptions are instantly refilled, which means you go into like Mega Burst mode. And I like that. I really like Mega Burst mode, because Mega Burst mode lines up with things like tracking trinket procs, tracking what my stuff is doing. Am I in a good window to do this? Am I at a moment when I need the burst? I like lining up all those things nicely, okay? I like monitoring all the procs and stuff that my character is doing and then abusing them to the max. I really like that stuff, but at the moment it doesn't seem to do enough. I wish these were a bit more evened out, in which case I would be happier. It's not far off, don't get me wrong, but this is a tuning issue that hopefully will get fixed. Hurricane Strikes! 3 Chi, unleash a rapid series of kicks towards random enemies within 12 yards, dealing a total of Blair damage, a lot of damage. While kicking, you're immune to movement and impairing effects and loss of control effects. It's got a little bit of a drawback that it makes you immune to CC, and therefore it has slightly less damage than the others, I guess. Hurricane Strikes is just one of those things that seems to have been added in, for my opinion. I can't see it doing anything well, and therefore I just have limited interest in it, if I'm being completely honest. The only other thing I wanted to bring up on talents issues is, again, this is personal playstyle. Talents should be about how you like to play the class. I don't like Chi Brew. Yeah? I don't like Chi Brew. I think it's boring, just buying 2 Chi. I just don't want to, I don't like it at all. I think it's kind of like a mistake hider. In my opinion, it's like making up for mistakes. I get the 2 extra chi. I also get a nice pull. There's certainly no doubt about that. I get a nice pull out of it. But it certainly gives you the most bang for your bucks. It gives you the 2 stacks of Tiger Eye Brew as well, which is very cool for the pull. I prefer Ascension because I like the faster playstyle. I like getting the energy regen by 10% buff. Increase your maximum chi allows me to a little bit more controlled with how I spend my chi, all that kind of stuff. I like Ascension, but at the moment it's still weaker than Chi Brew. I would like to see that balanced out again. But again, this is a balancing issue that we can work out in the future. No problem with that. And also, big props to the glyph of the floating butterfly. So the most important, the Fist of Fury, can be cast on the move. It looks kind of stupid because you're running around channeling your fists into the air and channeling a spell. But whatever, we get to do it on the move. Happy, happy days. Okay, no longer stuns. That's okay. I don't tend to stun a lot of bosses anyway, so I'm fine with that. So those are the changes. Those are the changes. How do I feel about it? It's slower, right? There's no doubt about that. I do feel it's lost a little bit of the charm for me. The pace of the class was something I very much enjoyed, and that pace is now gone a little bit. And it's not likely to come back with gear either, I'm afraid. Most calculations tend to indicate that gear isn't going to make any difference whatsoever. And therefore, cry your eyes out, friend. That's just the way it goes. So that is how it's got looking right now, guys. I hope I've alleviated some of the fears because it's actually it's pretty fine. Let's be honest. It's more than okay. It's still very fun. It's still a very, very, very fun class. And personally, I still enjoy it. Not as much as I did. I'm not going to lie. Not as much as I did, but I still very much enjoy it. Alright, guys. That is the Windwalker Monk and the changes so far. I'll come back to it after more changes on the beta, I think. That would be a good idea. So we'll do that then. Alright, guys. I'll see you later. Bye.